So we're still testing mu. What is mu going to be now? What's it going to be? We'll get through your data in a second, I promise. We'll get to you need to do the template, yeah, and then do the template maybe, yeah. What is mu? What are we actually looking at? JC, go ahead.
If there's a difference between
The difference in thumb and finger times. Yeah, that's what we're interested in. Is there a difference, right? Is there a difference?
My problem is, remember we were talking about decibels, it didn't matter which tool you use, but with the swimming you're using how many tools?
All these different hands?
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to, that's a good point. I'm trying to minimize that a little bit by pairing everybody with their self. This was Tim's question. He said, I'm always slow. As long as you're slow consistently, I don't care. Because I'm still getting a representation of what you would, yeah.
On the swimming.
Oh, but any tool is going to be like that. And that's one of the limitations of having swimming the way they are without mechanization, or without electronic mechanization. No, we have the tools we've got. Let's see if we can at least make sure there's precision and accuracy on those tools. Good point, good point.
So are we doing thumb minus finger? Like, is that how
I have a vote. Let's not worry about it and say this. Let's make it a two-tailed test.
Yeah.
That way we're just seeing if there's a difference. From what I remember in the discussion I had with Doug, there wasn't a claim that the thumb was faster or slower than the finger.
One of them.
It was just that one of them was faster than the other. So in other words, exactly. So this way the test will let us know. Now of course, it's a higher burden of proof because now we have two cutoffs, don't we, that are both going to have 2.5% in their tails. It still sums to 95% confidence. It still sums to a middle of 95% confidence. But it's a higher burden to prove because the difference has to push out further to get into that 2.5 versus 5.
Which is
Mike, what are you thinking about?
I just thought it was when I was looking at my times, and my middle time for each is exactly the same.
Exactly the same, which we're going to see if that averages out across the board around the room. We'll see. Dan, what's your point? Go ahead, you had a question coming.
No, I think that's good.
I think so too. I think it's a great because that way you don't go with a biased pre-notion, if you will. All right, so I think we have our hypotheses, yes? I mean, technically speaking, mathematically speaking, you don't even have to write this one, do you? I mean, if you're testing this one is assumed to be the opposite of it.
Right.
But the thing is that when you read your research journals, I'm trying to prep you guys not just for my class, obviously, but also the journals you're going to be reading, they're going to be talking about a null hypothesis. I want you to get used to seeing that and hearing that phrase. Cool! So, errors. Errors. Type 1.
Saying that there's no difference in the speed difference.
Type 1 would be saying that
There is.
there is a difference, but there isn't. That's a false positive, right?
Yes, yes.
So type 1 would be saying that there is a difference in the thumb and finger times when they're actually exactly the same. False positive. Is that fair? You guys believe that? Good. Hopefully. Type 2, Kate, would be
Saying that there isn't a difference.
that there isn't a difference when in fact there is a difference.
My type 2.
Oh, when you were answering my type 1, you guys are so fast. It's terrifying. You need to be my age. Slow down a little bit. Take it easy back there. Which one's worse, in your opinion?
Type 2.
Type 2, why, Michael?
Because then we have a conversation about what is fast and it's just a waste of time.
Okay, then we have a conversation about what is a measurable difference or what is fast. It's a waste of time. That's totally fine. Spoken like a swimmer, or someone that has suffered through this for years. Good, very good, very good. So type 2 is worse. Who says type 1's worse? I can see how either would be. Coming from where I'm sitting looking at this, a type 1 would imply there is a difference, which
Then
means
argue which one to use.
then you have to argue which one you're going to use. Based on your results might make it obvious, right? Your test might say your thumb is faster than make everybody use the thumb.
And then people stress out about having to use their thumb and they usually.
Right, wait, false start. Johnny's mom was using her finger. You bring it back, and then you have to start again. Maybe inconvenience might be a fault. Type 1 might create inconvenience.
It's that, yeah. Then it goes to which is more accurate, not which is faster.
Good. Which one is good? Good. Good. We are assuming accuracy here, aren't we? We're assuming accuracy. And this goes back to Deanne's point about we have problems with the system itself, with the tools. Very, very good. Fair enough? Excellent. So now here's what I want us to do. You pick whatever error you think is worse, you tell me why. It's your call. Again, you basically can't get number 5 wrong ever, as long as you write something. It's basically your opinion, and it really is just that, it's an opinion. And depending on where you're coming from, it might be a different opinion than your neighbors, and I love that, actually. Okay, so now we need to collect our data. So here's what